Today, we're proceeding with our Git series, and in this video, I will explain the overview of Git, and we will look at the content of .git file that is created when we initialize our Git repository. Actually, you can look at this folder when you create a Git repository, but as default, it's hidden, so you can use the functionality to look at the hidden files in your macOS or Windows system. For example, let's say I'm looking for my current project, Python Essentials, and you can see that these folders, the opacity of these folders are not the same as the other ones. So that's why it means hidden folder. So when we enter the Git folder, we see a lot of files and folders. And before diving into the content of these folders, I want to first go back to our overview of the Git and what is happening. So when we create a repository, as I told you before, .git folder is created. And what does this folder contain? So as you can see, it contains an objects folder here. And what is this objects folder? As we explained before, each time when we I will go back to the picture that I drew in the last video. When we create an object, when we commit a new change, the Git creates a new commit object. And what does this commit object contains? It contains a tree, and as you know, the commit object is the snapshot of the whole repository of your entire project. And this commit object contains a tree, which is your working file architecture, how folders are related to each other, subfolders, and etc. And inside this tree object, we also, if we have a subfolder, we will have one more tree object. And inside this tree object, there are blob objects. That is nothing but the hash codes of individual files. So everything is referred as a hash code in Git. It doesn't matter. Commit, it's an object. Commit refers to a tree object. Tree object refers to, has references to the blobs and etc. And it works like this. And you can also know that the commit also contains a reference to its parent commit, as I drew it before. So we understand these objects. And then now let's look at how these objects are stored in this Git file. All of these objects are stored in the objects file. In this objects file, there is no tree architecture. It's just one file, and inside this file, if you look at this, we will have a lot of files, for example 7a, 7b, 7c, 7d, and 7e, and etc. So what does it mean? It doesn't matter whether it's a tree object, whether it's a commit object, whether it's a blob file, and etc. Git stores all of these inside objects file in one objects folder in in one level. And as you can see, all of these objects files, tree files, blob files, they all have hash codes. And um, Git uses SHA SHA-1, it's called SHA-1 algorithm to create hash codes. And those, for example, if we go into this folder 7a, it will contain, it doesn't matter, the commit objects, tree objects, or blob objects. It will contain all of the objects that whose hash value starts with 7a. And with the same fashion, if we go to 7b, it will contain all of the objects. Again, doesn't matter if it's a commit object, tree object, or blob object. If they start with the 7b, they go into this file. Yeah, that's how it stores, how Git stores our project. Okay, and we also have here references here. References. And as you can see here, when we go to this folder, apart from objects, we have refs, heads, remotes, tags, and we have here heads folder. And what is head? Head is nothing but a reference to our last commit. And what is our last commit? Our last commit is just an object. And we told you before that everything is stored in the objects folder. And the head is nothing but a reference to an object in the objects folder. And when you create a new branch, of course, there will be a new pointer for each branch that points to the last commit of that branch. And that's why we don't have one head here, we have heads. We only have one main here because in our folder we only created one branch. And if we create new branches, every branch will have its own head reference. Yeah, as I wrote it before, the object folder contains the hash of everything: tree, commit, blob, and etc. And the entire thing is just our repository. And if we delete git file, then our repository is deleted as well. I want to stop that video here. In the next video, I will follow with the codes, and I will also show you how efficient Git is in storing our files.